Hey, what's going on, my beautiful people? This is Certified Life and Relationship Coach, Coach Court. Happy Saturday. I am going to keep this live session brief today, but I thought it was a good idea to connect with you. It's been a while. It has been a while since I've done a live session. So I decided to just, it's Saturday. I don't have anything else to do. Why not connect with my people in the community? If you guys are coming in, please let me know where you're from. If you're on Facebook right now, do me a favor and jump over to YouTube. That link should be in the description if I have that link in there. So if you're on Facebook, go on YouTube, look up Coach Court, and come over here, help me out with the analytics. So it tells YouTube I'm live right now and send as many people in here as possible, because if we have as many people in here as we can you guys hear me well? If you guys are in here, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. If you can't hear me, let me know. Hello from Poland. Let me know if you can hear me or not. And then I'll do what I need to do to fix the sound. I want to welcome all you guys. It's been a beautiful journey so far. Pushing the 10K, and we actually blew past 10K. That's so crazy. Like, we just completely lapped 10K, and it's all because you guys. If you guys have questions, Colombia, Poland, China, hello, everyone. It's a beautiful Saturday. The weather's not great though. Glenn from Germany. We got everybody tapping in. Nice. All right. So this topic today, no more dismissing, is exactly what it sounds like. I have done many videos about this. When it's time to stop being dismissed. More specifically, if you guys are interested in that video, that's here on the channel also. All right, so I want to make sure that you guys understand that this channel isn't about manipulation or getting exes back. That's not what it's about. This channel is about becoming the best version of yourselves, checking yourself and understanding that, all right, so something happened in this relationship and I need to figure it out. I need to go within. I need to turn inward and figure out what it is I need to change. What is it that I need to evolve? What areas, filling your knowledge gap, what areas do I need to improve so I can show up better and I can stop picking people who are, I guess, bringing out that subconscious part of me that needs to be codependent. Good morning on my side. All right, hello. You are well heard in Poland. This is so dope. Poland, China, Colombia, Germany. Give me 1 second. I just got done working out, so. My morning pregame workout. Get my tea together. All right. So no more dismissing. This is when it's time to stop being dismissed. All right. There are certain things that you need to not tolerate. Now, the whole reason for me making these videos, as far as, how to cope with a dismissive avoidant and how to reattract them, is to help you understand them better. Right. So you can, for one, stop taking it personal when they do back away or when they decide that this isn't working out for them. And two, for you to tap into the part of yourself that needs growth and needs healing. Most of the time I see people say, I have no clue what happened. I don't know why I decided to continue pursuing this person. I was always a secure person, and I have no clue why I can't get over this person and why they are really bringing me out of my uncenteredness. And it's because it's that subconscious part of you. I'm huge into studying, the inner child, how certain people can bring out that little boy or that little girl inside of you when they feel like mommy or daddy is going to abandon them, leave them on the playground. Sweden. It was an example I used in one of my coaching sessions. And I was talking about how we tend to fall for potential. Well, not only fall for them, but we stick around for potential. We wait for that yolk inside the egg to eventually become a chick, figuratively and literally. We wait for it. And what happens when it doesn't hatch? What happens when that person doesn't show up and isn't able to tap into that potential and blossom into who they need to be in order to show up better for you, usually you'll get resentment, you'll get remorsefulness because, well, I just wasted my time. I think of it as like a slot machine. Like, we're pouring into that person. Or if you think about a person that's at the casino and he's just pouring into the slot machine, putting quarters after quarters, they'll get a little bit of payout every now and then. It'll kick back a little something. And then, eventually they say, you know what, this is a waste of time. I'm not going to hit the jackpot. Like, this person is not going to become the person I need them to be. So you get up, walk away. All of a sudden, you hear a little noise behind you. Bing, 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 bing. And you look back, someone else hit the jackpot. That's people's biggest fears. They know, like, this person is worth pouring into. This person is worth committing and sticking with this. But then it doesn't happen. And your biggest fear is walking away and hearing someone else hit the jackpot. And then you turn around like, why wasn't I good enough? Why couldn't you give that to me? That's all I wanted. But you have to have the knowing or the understanding that you will find that person that you hit the jackpot with. We have this thing in the world, in the manosphere. They call it one-itis. We get the one-itis. Actually, it was, I want to say it was, there's a couple people that I study, a couple relationship coaches. And one of them was talking about this, the twin flame or the soulmate. And I have videos here on the channel too. I talk about that. I don't think soulmates are a thing. Well, he was saying specifically, there's a 0.00005 chance that you will find your soulmate where you're at. Like, think about how many people there are in the world. I was listening to Mel Robbins. He was saying that, scientists have studied that for, just to be who you are and to be born on that day, born at that time, born to those parents, it's like 1 in 400 billion or something like that, 400 trillion of a chance that you were able to be born at that specific time to those specific parents on that specific day. All of that, like, just all the way down to the micro science there. It's like the same thing is for, if you feel like you found a soulmate or the one. There are a lot of people that are going to come along in your life that you're going to jive with, that you're going to, I'm dating myself talking about jive, that you're going to have flow with, a connection with. Sure. All right. So let's say you're 25 years old and you like hiking, you like cooking, you like playing video games. All right. So that person that comes along that you meet that has all those different qualities and is like, oh, they like hiking, they like cooking, and they like playing video games. That's your soulmate in that moment. All right. So when you turn, let's say 10 years go by, you can't hike anymore because you got bad knees. You can't eat what you want anymore. So you can't cook a whole lot of unhealthy foods anymore. You don't play video games anymore because you're working a lot and you can't sit down and just be present with a video game. Will that person still be your soulmate? Yes or no? I doubt it. So when you think about soulmates and the one, and when you take your vows till death to do us part, it's going to take a lot of nurturing and a lot of oil change. I call it relationship oil changes. When you have these conversations that's just going to, continue on the same path that you guys agreed to early on in the relationship, it's going to take a lot of nurturing to keep that till death do us part alive. And I've worked with a lot of clients that were actually widowed and they struggled after, the person passed away to find another person because they usually feel like that relationship was the best relationship they've ever had. And I don't know if it's because the relationship was left undone or if it was a situation where they were actually really, really into each other, or if it was just the fact that it never had that conclusion like relationships have. And a lot of people don't get closure in relationships, which is most of the time why they reach out to me, because they need to understand what exactly happened and how they got to where they were at. All right, let me check the comment section here. All around the world, it's important not to chase a dismissive out of your life. True that. You want to let them come to you when they're comfortable, right? When they feel They have to come at their own pace. I was actually coaching a client, and it was two dismissive people, and she was saying that she was dismissive, and the guy that she was dealing with, was dismissive also. And I told her, usually what happens is when you have two dismissive people, one person is going to become more anxious, where I don't care when it happens, but eventually one of those people are going to want more. They're going to want to bring the other person closer. I probably should stop working out before I come into these sessions, but it kind of gets the blood flowing so I can get ready for you guys. Anybody got questions? CC, tell me what to do if I was him, the DA who really screwed up. All right, what do you say to, if you were the DA? First off, you're here. That's great. Congratulations. Because most people who have avoidant attachment, they kind of focus on other things. They don't really put a whole lot of stock into like studying relationship help and stuff like that. So that's the first step. Understanding who you are. And Mel Robbins also has a book called The 5-Second Rule. So you want to learn how to lean into the uncomfortableness. You know, your natural reaction is going to be to pull away and to not engage anymore. But you want to take that 5 seconds, pause, and learn how to lean in to the conversation. Do the uncomfortable things. You know the saying, you keep doing the same old thing, you'll keep getting the same old results. Learn how to lean into the things that makes you uncomfortable. You know, that's learning new skills. When I was going to counseling, actually marriage counseling to be specific, she said something that was pretty cool. She said that it's not about trying to change the person. It's about learning new skills. So you don't want to change. It's not like the person trying to change you. It's about learning the skills that you need to learn in order to make the relationship work. And I've been pretty vocal about my relationship history and stuff, and the things that I've learned over the years. This is why I like doing this work, because it's almost like a life hack if you think about it. Whenever I read a book, or whenever I study people who write books and stuff in their life and what they've been through, it's so cool, because sometimes they're putting 25, 40 years of life experience in like a little 6 hour read. I'm like, wow, I can learn from them and their mistakes and the things that they've done. More specifically, the things that they've done wrong. So it's so cool to be able to do this type of work. And literally, I am, even when I expire, all of this library that I have here is going to be left for my daughters. Is going to be left for anyone and everyone. And that's all. Whenever I'm making these videos, I'm very mindful about that. I understand that the words that I say, it matters, and people are going to take a lot of the things that I say literal. So I try to be impeccable. Like I say this all the time, Don Miguel. I try to be impeccable with my words. So the advice that I'm giving you guys is going back. I digress on that. Going back is I'm trying to help you guys get a better understanding of who they are and why they operate the way that they do. So you can not take it personal. But I never advocate for you to stay with someone if it's messing with your mental health, right? And if you're someone who is prone to falling uncentered and becoming anxious in relationships, then you may not want to be in relationships for the time being. You need to take some time so this is kind of like I'm playing devil's advocate here, because I'm a believer that you can't heal your attachment and not do relationships at the same time. Those things kind of have to coexist. You have to be in relationship situations, meaning I guess dating or whatever, but understand that I have this wound that occasionally flares up. So you have to keep that balance. This is why I study Taoism, is because it's finding that middle ground. And most of it is just being here in the now, enjoying the present moment, and realizing that the next moment might not be as pleasurable as this moment right now. And you have to be okay with that. I think of it as like relationships. Hey, I think of it as like Let me check this comment section real quick. Only found out my DA actually was a DA after her breaking up with me about a month ago. I was completely flabbergasted and still am, considering we were together for 13 years, got 5 kids. Whoa, that is a long time. So I'm gonna ask you a question, Kels. How in the world did you make it last for so long? Were you just completely non-confrontational? Or how does that work? How did it work? Do you chase a DA away after a breakup by telling them you missed them? It's kind of sparking a little bit of emotion. What I hear from them is it makes it feel like the person's trying to manipulate them. And like it's not something that's authentic. So what I think about relationships, this is how I healed myself, right? This is how I am healing myself. I'm not healed. This is going to be something that goes with me for a really long time. I think of it as like all relationships as just moments in time, right? Just experiences that you have. I look at it as like, you think of a feather, a feather floating by, like you grab the feather, you look at it, you admire it. And then if it doesn't work out, if it's drawing you off your center, if you just don't feel right, your deep knowing does feel like this isn't working out, just let it float away. And realize that it's going to be another feather, maybe better, maybe more colorful, that's going to come along. You're going to eventually pluck that one. Because and sometimes you may be someone that they consider high value, and you're going to have feathers just sticking to your clothes left and right, and you can't keep them off you. But if you were to let that feather go and then get all bent out of shape and try to chase after it, it's not going to work out well for you. That's where anxiety and depression, those stem from. Trying to grasp onto that moment again and recreate their situation. In the Zen world, they talk about you have to die every day. And I get it now. I was confused. Actually, I joked on Instagram about that. One of my friends was like, I don't want to die. Like, wow, yeah, but it's not like that. It's not a physical death. It's an actual, I guess you call it ego death, or the death of the old you. Like I think about how many lives I've lived personally, multiple. I joke all the time and say, I think I lived like 10 different lives, all within a 40-year span, because I've done so many things, and it's all led me up to the next level or the next place in life. And now I'm in coaching, and this is going to expire one day, and I'm gonna go to the next, whatever it's leading me to. But I realized that it all happens for a reason. Everything. I promise you. Like you guys, I wish if you guys understand that, put a thumbs up. If you guys understand that every single experience you have is helping you become the better version. It is. Unless you give up. You should give up on yourself. But it's always it's laying out a path. My communication skills, I learned that from, I guess, repetition. That's the one thing. Repetition is how I got this way. Because I was terrible at first when it comes to public speaking, and actually still don't like it. I'm more of an introvert. But my connection with kids and learning about childhood trauma, that was my coaching business. That was this business right here. This is the first business. Had that for a really long time. Took some counseling courses. My background in sociology is what I learned in college. It all led me somewhere. I was working in a factory, in a cheese factory here in Wisconsin. No, actually it was a sausage factory. That didn't sound right. But it was. And that helped me with my people skills. That helped me with that. Worked for a medical company. That helped me with my people skills. Had to learn how to be more gentle with my approach. Like it all happens for a reason. And those jobs all served me well. All the relationships that I've been in served me well. Like I said, 25 to 40 years of life experience all compiled in one YouTube channel, one book, one podcast That's a life hack. That's why I listen to Lewis Howes so much. He's got all the greatest people on there. Literally. That's the reason why he called the podcast the School of Greatness. It's amazing. I sucked that knowledge up. As I was a kid, I always like sitting around my grandmother, listening to stories, listening to the wisdom that comes off of them. And I had an old soul. I guess I still kind of do. All right, let me answer some questions. She tried to get away many times, but I always fought hard to get her back each time. Yeah. Here's a little nugget. Stop chasing the feather. It has to want to come back to you. It has to naturally make its way back around to you, because I've only seen people struggle that couldn't take no for an answer. Because it's not your decision. Because once a person doesn't have those feelings for you anymore romantically, it's what they call the fool's errand to try to make it a possibility again. And there's a little something called masculine and feminine energy that a lot of men turn into their masculine energy or tap into their feminine energy after relationships done. And it's just unattractive. I mean, your best bet. And I tell guys that are about to go through divorce, just on a verge of divorce, I usually tell them, just give her the divorce. Like, you don't have a choice. And if she wants to change her mind throughout the process, I mean, that's a bonus. But if you keep fighting it and you're trying to have someone, and I know that goes against, I was raised, Christian, and the Bible says you shouldn't divorce. But what if the situations are very nuanced? Like, there's abuse going on, or there's infidelity going on. Some of those things are really hard to overcome. Like, you can't make your way back after that sometimes, because once the trust is gone, what's the saying? Trust is easy to give, but hard to get back. Something like that. The saying goes, something along those lines. But it's true. I even had, a counselor tell me, you don't even want to introduce the D word into relationships, because the minute that you do, and you put the idea that you're going to abandon that person in their mind, that's when they're going to start either pulling back to protect themselves right away, or they're going to get more anxious in their nature. I've not heard that before. I like that. Seeing I am still happy with my choices each day. My DA was perfectly happy with how things were. Been together 5 years, lived together 3. I really felt like she was with me to take care of blank. Anxiety hits me like a freight train daily. Yeah, I remember those days. Anxiety was my alarm clock. I would wake up in the morning and I had like this gnawing feeling in my stomach. And I was like, oh, it must be 5:30 a.m. It's about that time. It's anxiety 30. And I'm trying to back away to not push her away further with the modified version of no contact, which is strategic. Strategic. I know what you're doing there. Yeah. Strategic contact, which is you have to talk to her about the kids, which is a good, you should be a good dad. I mean, obviously, but you don't want to go prying and asking all these personal questions. You essentially want to just give it pull back, let her do her thing, only communicate about the kids, and do what you're doing now. Personally develop yourself. You got a business you want to start. My business has boop, boop, boop. Every time that I went through a massive heartbreak, I knew that it was time to use that energy and put it into something that was worthwhile, which is me, personal development. That's the best development you can ever have. What's up, Hustle Habit? You guys got questions? How do we not chase yet try to contact them? Since most of the time DA won't reach out first, they tend to move on. So I was just telling someone I got a strategy about this, right? And this is in manipulation, all right? This is for you to work on yourself at the same time. You're kind of letting that cake bake in the oven. You want to give it every few days. Every few days, you want to reach out. Sometimes, they call it like the good reminder text and stuff, or you don't have to do that. Like, you can just check in on their well-being and just, every so often send them something funny, like a meme or something every 3 days, every 3 to 4 days. If they don't respond, pull back, wait another week. But you have to like build that safety back up. Like I talk about the turtle, when the turtle goes back in the shell, you have to give it time, and you have to focus on you. Focus on get back to hanging out with your friends and your family, because usually that's what happened. We usually kind of let those relationships deteriorate. So you want to do that. What I did personally, I read a lot of books. I just listened to a lot of podcasts. I started writing books. I started writing quotes. I started a business. I started my own side business, which became my main business. That's not for everyone. And I'm not trying to say that's a one size fit all, because it's not. Some people are doing well. Some people are, the people that reach out to me, some of them are millionaires, and they don't have, well, there's another thing to be said about that too. When you have so much money, sometimes you have a lot of downtime and you're trying to figure things out. But learn a new language, study someone else. My daughter was joking one day. I think I might have had like a quiet time where I was like, nope, no electronics. And I told her, yeah, we can't, you guys can't watch TV, you can't play no iPads, anything like that. Let's focus on doing something around the house. And she's 7, and she kept saying, I'm bored. And I was like, well, boring people get bored. And she said, well, I must be a bored people. Had me dying laughing. Saying that to just get on board, work out again. What if you slacked in that area? This is my first DA relationship. It's so unbearable. Just can't seem to move past it because I missed the best friends part. And this is why a lot of people contact me too, is to know the difference between, was this person actually dismissive or was they narcissistic? I've become pretty good at picking up on some of the signs of a narcissistic person compared to someone who's more avoidant. Their history is like the most important part. But that's also the part where we try to ignore, is that, oh, we're just going to love them a little bit harder. We're going to give them something that they've never had before. And you're ignoring a lot of different things, a little nuanced behavior that would have told you a long time ago, hey, this person's narcissistic and I should probably protect myself. Kids speak that truth. They do. All right. Hustle habit. How do I break this attachment so it's okay for me to live with or without them? I honestly feel like it's a numbers game in that area. Practice dating. Practice loving without attachment, if that's possible. And just understanding that, there's 7 billion people in this world. There are going to be a lot of feathers coming by. You're going to be plucking them. You can look for the qualities in people that you like, and you kind of admire them for the qualities that they have. Like, usually when people are having a hard time getting over someone, they talk about, well, she had this or he had this about him, and I love that about him. And you kind of pedestalize them, and then you don't see it. It blinds you to some of the things that you shouldn't be glorifying. They tell you their story. They tell you how they got to where they're at. And you feel like, wow, I don't ever want to hurt them. And then they end up hurting you in return. But what you need to realize is that you can't save people. You can't save people from themselves. I mean, you can send them as many attachment videos as you want, but it's not going to work if they don't want to do the work. So how do you love someone and not attach to them? It's hard. How do you break this attachment? It's a journey. It takes a lot. So most of the time you were already set. Like your incubation period was from 0 to 7. And if the conditions weren't right, then you're going to end up hatching into a bad egg. And well, that was kind of harsh. Not a bad egg, but you're going to hatch into someone that you're not going to like later on in life. You're going to have to do a whole lot of undoing, unwiring, uprooting some weeds that you write as your narrative. So it takes a lot. And I don't think there's a magic pill or a magic answer. It just, I don't know if it's like, I think one thing, narcissistic people do have right is like they have like this way of carrying themselves and understanding that, all right, I can meet someone better, which is toxic, but I feel like a healthy degree of narcissism is important, but that's more like the confidence. Like if you think about my idol, Kobe Bryant, on the court, he had this way about him, knowing like, yeah, I'm not worried about it. We're gonna make it happen. And they can be down in the series. It's like, yeah, we just got to come out and do better. Like we got to come out and play better, and we will. Like you got to have this way about yourself. So when you're getting your heart broke, and you get over that the only way to heal is to go within. Interesting. Let me sip my tea real quick. Can they be DA and fearful at the same time? So you have two major operating attachments, right? There's one that you naturally live in, and then there's one that gets triggered when things become uncertain. There's that unhealthy, that insecure attachment that comes out when there's conflict or when things get a little uncertain in a relationship. When you hit the power struggle stage, that's when usually your insecure attachment starts to come out. That's when you either become more dismissive or you become more nervous about them finding someone else and talking to someone else. Narcissistic energy is very pervasive. It can cause amazing people to do horrible things without even realizing it. But not everyone who carries this energy is a true narcissist. Some of us were just raised by them. True that. And you kind of learn these different things if you were raised in an environment where your parents were narcissistic. And I was talking to someone the other day, and I was saying that one thing that I learned with coaching and just living life is not to attach like feelings to things and what they are. Like Sadhguru says, the sun just is. You can either get a nice tan or you can burn yourself to a crisp. It doesn't matter. It doesn't care. It just is. So when you're thinking about like the way that your parents were showing up and the way that they parented you and their personality, like you have to not put like emotions to it. Just see it for what it is. All right, my parents were narcissistic. All right, got it. What do I do with that information? Well, now I realize that this is probably why I am the way that I am. And I learned some of these unhealthy coping mechanisms and unhealthy ways of manipulating people to get what I want. Okay. What other information can you take away from that? How can we get past this? How can we heal so we can show up better for people? How? Yeah, it is a good quote. I love Sadhguru. Yes, I'm secure, but my DAFA brings out AAME. Absolutely. But he does that to me. So here's the thing. You don't attach to people very easily, right? That's just 100%. You may meet someone and attach to them once or twice max a decade. Over the course of 30 years, you may have only attached to like 2 or 3 people, but everyone else, they can't pull it out. Like this, they bring out that inner child in you, that little boy, that little girl in you that's just screaming for the attention. And it's weird. It's an unhealthy and a crippling place to be because you feel powerless. Like sometimes you'll be texting that person, you know, you're not supposed to be texting them 4 times in a row, but it's because of the protesting you're doing. It's like, if you, the analogy I use is like, if you have that little boy, and this is working for all the kids that I work with, you have that little boy that wants to be seen and wants to be heard so badly, and mom is just, you know, giving him the silent treatment, you know, not responding to what he's doing, and he's just crying for him, crying out for attention. And when he don't get it, you know, he's gonna go over, break a lamp, and just look at her like, well, you have to see me now. And that's kind of what happens when you have that insecure attachment get triggered, or, you know, starts to bubble up. Like, well, now you have to see me. And usually they're remorseful after and say, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. That wasn't, I mean, look at, I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even going there. I was going to bring up some award show, but I'm not even going to go there. But are you a DA? No, I'm anxious, preoccupied. In recovery. I am an anxious person in recovery. Which kind of hurt to hear because I listened to a lot of Dr. Ramani. She's like the leading narcissist expert. She said that the people who are the more narcissistic tend to be the ones that are anxious, preoccupied. That hurt my soul to hear because I'm like, look, I hope that's not me. Like, I feel like I'm more empathetic to people than someone who's a bona fide narcissist. So that's why I know that there's a spectrum there. You know, there's NPD, which is just 100% narcissist. Or you have people that are on this, you know, a little bit slower on the spectrum. I have some narcissistic tendencies, but not a straight out narcissistic person. So check her channel out, Dr. Ramani. All right. That's my cue. I've got a Saturday session, but I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you as always. If you want coaching, sign up for my email newsletter. I'm actually taking advantage of my email list now and sending you guys free coaching every week. My website, www.fruitfulseeds.com. There it is. And I appreciate you guys for always supporting the channel, helping me spread my message and helping people heal, because that's all I care about, to be honest. When I started this business, I didn't even think it would be. You just missed it, Julie. I'm sorry. Go ahead and watch the replay. You be well too, Hustle Habit. Appreciate you. I'm gonna end it. Like I said, how I know all my videos now is, you know, go be love and you'll never have to find it. All right. Namaste, everyone.